Command & Conquer 3 PC Game Review by Luke Appleby, published April 1, 2013. April Fools. Arguably the best CNC titles of all time, Command & Conquer 3 Tiberium Wars and the expansion Kane's Wrath represent the ultimate in classic science fiction themed real-time strategy, and I would agree that holds up to today. Tiberium Wars 2007. The year is 2047. I just said the year was 2007. The year is 2047, and the third Tiberium War is imminent. The Global Defense Initiative is now a Western superpower that has consolidated its dominion throughout most habitable zones of the Earth. The alien resource known as Tiberium, once a praised foreign mineral, now threatens the ecosystem and has developed dangerous and uninhabitable places to live. Where GDI are trying to protect people from the dangers of Tiberium, a terrorist cell known as the Brotherhood of Nod rises from the ashes of decades-old defeat to challenge the oppressors once again. Kane, mysterious and feared leader of the Brotherhood of Nod, kickstarts the third Tiberium War with a bang by launching a warhead that annihilates GDI's geostationary satellite, Philadelphia. Nod hit hard and prey on GDI's desperate and neglected communities that are most severely affected by Tiberium radiation, and sway them to join their cause via deception, intimidation and slander. And just as history repeats itself, a third faction joins the party. Aliens. The Skrin, oblivious to the war between GDI and Nod, begin their invasion of Earth. Tiberium Wars introduces a third playable faction to the CNC mix that are most definitely overpowered by late game. The trick is to cripple the alien forces before they can reach higher tier structures and units, like the Protoss from StarCraft. The Skrin have the most expensive build orders that they warp into existence, and they also possess terrifying aircraft, like the Planetary Assault Carrier that unleashes a dozen or so drone fighters. These Planetary Assault Carriers complemented with a balanced strike force of buzzers, a cloud of sharp robots that kill humans on contact, Seekers, light tank with plasma disc launchers, and Annihilator tripods, elegant and powerful walkers with lasers, or, as the typo says, lasters, are an impressive force to be reckoned with. Gameplay. GDI adopt a tried and true policy where they train quality riflemen, rocket infantry, and build solid tanks to uphold their protectorate. They also have vertical takeoff and landing jets at their disposal, not disposable, although VTOL jets are disposable. To escalate the war effort, railgun upgrades can be purchased to pack those predators and mammoths with a heavier punch. Nod, however, rely on fanatics and experimental Tiberium technology to seize the day. Although not as tough as GDI, Nod's light tanks and airfighters, Venoms, make excellent scouts and opportunists for hit-and-run attacks. Need to smash a turret or structure of interest? Send a formation of Vertigo bombers, which shares the same cloak technology as the Agile stealth tank. Both Vertigo and stealth tank units will only unveil when they fire their payload or when they're detected. And it wouldn't be a CNC game without super weapons. GDI have their impressive ion cannon in the sky, while Nod have their stockpile of nukes. It is important to note that these weapons of mass destruction are much deadlier than the tiny explosions from the 1995 game. A well-placed nuke or ion cannon strike can make all the difference, which is why the countdowns and the Temple of Nod or ion cannon control structures are visible to all players. The Skrin equivalent, the Rift Generator, is something you never want to see happen to your base. The devastation is so profound, it could be game over from the moment it is activated. That's why we don't play with super weapons when we play skirmish. It takes the fun away sometimes. If you're on the receiving end, that is. Kane's Wrath, 2008. And so the story continues. The single-player content spans years to show what the Brotherhood of Nod were up to between the second and third Tiberium Wars. Fans of the Machiavellian Kane will enjoy the rollercoaster ride of revelations and mysteries concerning his mission for ascension and his connection to Tiberium and the Skrin. Sub-factions. As with all expansions, there are two unique sub-factions for each major player in the game that emphasises a particular strategy while lacking something else for balance. There are now 9 playable races to choose from. The Black Hand comprises Nod's elite soldiers and feature a rocket soldier that can be upgraded to contain a flamethrower specialist. These guys in great numbers can tackle anything, and they are broken. Like, let's be real here. That single unit is the most broken thing ever, and boy do I love spamming them. ZOCOM, Zone Operations Command, are GDI's task force for trialling sonic weaponry. So getting a bit of June in there. Zone Troopers jetpack across the field while Zone Shatterers, tanks with sonic burst cannons, lay waste, causing splash damage that is effective against large numbers. Reaper 17 is Skrin's crack ground assault force and trades all of its aerial assets for powerful seekers, annihilator tripods, shard upgrades. You know, so basically you've got these sub factions and they have trade-offs for having some awesome stuff. Big toys. The last major addition to the CNC3 formula is the introduction of epic units. Instead of spending your credits to build a super weapon that your opponent will just blast before you get to use it, invest in one of the following. GDI can develop the Marv, which is a mammoth armed reclamation vehicle. It's a big tank. Humongous. Send up to 4 infantry types into it to provide extra weapons or a health buff. Marvs can roll over Tiberium fields and instantly convert the crystals into cash. Park your Marv in an enemy base or crush your enemy strike force. The sonic cannon that it wields is deadly. Nod, on the other hand, have the Redeemer. It's a 4-legged mech armed with tri-laser and rage generator. Activate the rage generator when the Redeemer is near enemy troops, and those troops will fight amongst themselves. They'll kill each other. This is most effective when you cloak the mech, sneak it near a large idle enemy. So you often see people sort of spamming troops and they're just sort of idling, and if you get this big Redeemer close enough, you can set off the rage generator and you can have a big army fight amongst itself. It's quite satisfying when you pull it off. There are 2 passenger spots in the Redeemer to provide additional weapons or a repair module. Skrin have their spider-like Eradicator hexapod that fires large plasma discs and converts dead soldiers into currency. This biomechanical monstrosity is even more dangerous when a mastermind or a prodigy is placed inside, because it enables short-range teleportation to get the Eradicator hexapod out of trouble. It's quite a cumbersome, slow vehicle, but you give it teleportation capability and it's a nightmare to deal with. It can just sort of blink away or blink to somewhere else and cause massive havoc. Overall, the campaigns are worth playing if you care for the lore, which I do, quite dearly. Just don't. There was a follow-up game, CNC4. Ignore it. Most people boot up CNC3 for the glorious multiplayer, that's true. Fast-paced, most rounds usually last up to 20 minutes. Yeah, the game has a flow and the average time is about 20 minutes. Play with friends and team up against AI opponents. Maps catered for up to 8 players, and if you're hungry for more, you can either make your own or find them online. The graphics, even by today's standards, are immaculate. I think it's held up quite well. For the rich colour, distortion and particle effects, it's all about the fire and explosions, and they look perfect. CNC3 will not disappoint. It won't. I look forward to a remaster in the future.